Good morning. Welcome to Sports Desk Live on Comcast Channel 26, also streamed on our Facebook page. I'm your host, Ed Nunez, along with our very special producer, Alden Iwani. Our very special guest today, Del Norte boys basketball coach Jeron McIntosh's fourth-ranked Knights will take on Hope Christian tomorrow night. And they've been having a very good season so far. And, Coach, we finally snagged you, man. It's so good to have you on. Welcome to the show.
No, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate being here. And so always love talking to you, Ed.
Yeah, man, you're a good guy and a good friend. I've always had the utmost respect for you. You know that. Knights 13-8, 3-0 in district. You know, Coach, man, this district stuff just happens so fast and it's so quick. You know, my son and I were able to do your game last week against Albuquerque Academy. Total dismantling of the Chargers, 67-47. And you said it was the most complete game that the Knights had played all season long. I was impressed with Mumin Omer. Francois Sachivi, he's at 19.7. Mumin Omer at 10.9. But I thought Omer set a physical tone right away on Amy. Roshern Amy is a good player. Hunter Amy. Hunter Amy I'm thinking of Roshern Amy back in the day for the UTEP Miners, man. That's how far that goes back. But Hunter Amy's a good player. He is. But I thought Omer set a physical tone. We're not, you're going to post up. I'm going to get under those legs, and you're going to work. We're going to bust the cutters. We're going to make it hard for you, man. And I thought he took a lot of energy away from him. Talk about what you said was the Knights' most complete game all season long last week.
Yeah, it was for sure. Like hitting shots, listening to the game plan, playing defense, and then playing four quarters. I mean, that's been a big part of it too that we've struggled with. Is we've played good for one or two quarters, and then the third and fourth quarter we either get tired or forget what we're supposed to be doing and start taking bad shots. And I think the last really 2 weeks we've really gotten out of that, and then we started to grow up and mature a little bit. And we've been doing well, man. Like we've scored about 70 points a game the last 4 games, and so we've really started to score a lot more. We're only giving up about 50 points a game, so our defense is getting better. So it's a good combination of things that are going on.
To your point, to win, Knights have reeled off 4 in a row, winning against Bernalillo, against Academy, against Bosque, and then against Valley. And Easy Pontus is a heck of a coach. He's having a tough season, and he'll be back. He's one of the best coaches there is, man. And everyone has those seasons. So 4 in a row, you got Hope tomorrow night. Last loss was one against Highland, and my son and I have Highland tonight. Highland, 2 big wins against La Cueva and then Albuquerque High last week. They're on the rise. But this is a game I understand. I think Sebastian Noel was saying that game against Highland, you guys had played pretty well, had the game under control, and things kind of fell apart a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we had a 18-point lead at one point, and we were playing really well in the first half. But like I was just telling you before, like kind of what we've done in a lot of the games that we've lost, in the second half, just not being as focused as we need to be and start taking bad shots, and defensively maybe losing people on the game plan, different things like that. And so I think that's come with maturity. But like Highland's all that they've been advertised. Like those guys are really good. They have probably 5 or 6 guys that can really play, and so they're a tough team to beat. They're going to be a tough out for sure in the state tournament, and we already know that too. So, I think our guys too, for the most part, like they're just grown up, and so I think what comes with that are the different things that were happening. Like we're scoring more points and we're giving up less.
That's always a formula. You look at your last couple of games, even Highland. Highland, you mentioned, is a high-scoring team. Fede Nunez, Lemus, the big kid, Jerry Moody, who drives me nuts sometimes. I'm a Highland guy. I told you that, although, I'm down the line when I call the games. That kid has such potential, and all of a sudden he'll show up, and you're like, dang, where'd that come from? And you want more, right? Because you're greedy. You're like, hey, and Jerry's Jerry. Jerry's going to give you what he gives you, and hey, man, if you're at 16 and 7 or 10, you'll take it. He has an outstanding upside. There's no doubt about it. But if you look at the points again, you only gave up 51, 45, 47, 50, and 46. And before that, 43, 61, 42, and 26. So your defense has been outstanding. And, Coach, that's where games are won. I've followed your career long. The utmost respect for you, man. When you won that championship You do things in such a classy way. I've been around basketball a long time. And so when you told me this season before, I asked you, hey, man, how do you guys look? I saw you at the academy tournament. That's always my question to anybody I haven't seen in a while. Hey, man, what's going on? How do you look? You said, and I quote, that might be the best that I've had. And this is over a state championship team. My son, when I told my son that, he's like, wow, really, because you had Doma, you had Judah, you had some really good players. But I'll tell you what, when I saw Francois Sachivi, this kid is a wonderful scorer, man. I mean, he'll catch and shoot. He'll get to the gaps. He'll rise and fire. He'll shoot three-way score. So you didn't make that statement lightly when you did it. And I told someone, hey, man, he's the coach. He's the one that knows that. Tell us a little bit about what you meant by that.
Yeah, so like there are previous teams that made these really good runs. Like you said, we were talking about our state title team and even the state runner-up team. Like we had really high-level players, but then our other guys were really good role players. And so they weren't nearly as skilled. Didn't have as much size as this team does. And so overall, like I would say from 1 to 8, from the first guy to the 8th or 9th guy, like we are way more skilled than any team that we've had here and since I've been here. And so that, I mean, like we just haven't been able to put all the pieces together. Like they just haven't fit together as easily as some of our other teams have. And so with this team, we got a lot of guys who can score. We got a lot of length. Even coming off the bench, we'll have 2, 3, 4 guys that could give us 10, 15 points any night. And so like that's what I really mean by that. Like we haven't had that in the past. Like normally we have 1 or 2 guys like you were talking about with Shane and Judah, even Malik Barton in the past that could go and get it for us every night, and then everybody else just play their role. This year it's more of we have multiple guys that could probably go out and get it for us.
Hey, I forgot about Malik, man. I don't know how I forgot about that dude. That boy could go too, man. That dude could play. So when you're talking about that, and I get to see Judah all the time down at Western, and you're a former Western New Mexico Mustang yourself, and you're a hell of a player down there. And hell, the Mustangs are having their best season this season since 1994.
Yeah.
I know
following it, man. I love it.
Oh man, I'll tell you one thing, Coach. Coach Bunker down there hit on a couple of players that hadn't played for a while, and man, these guys have turned out to be wonderful players, man. And one of them, Isaiah Brody, I know you've seen him a little bit. He's 6'8", unrefined. The potential is like a ball of clay. Wait till this summer where he works on his shooting and natural maturation. He's an athlete. Try to punch it in from the dotted line on Saturday. I'm like, oh man, he just need his back rimmed in. But next year, that's going to be a flush over a couple of people. So anyway, you've seen a lot of ball, man. You know what basketball's about. But I got to say that tell us more about Francois Sachivi. That young man has got some power too. He's strong. He's got that wiry strength. I saw it last week. They were playing a zone. Academy's playing a zone. The kid, one of the academy guards, looked the other way. Boom, he's gone. He didn't even wait. So he recognizes and he reads things. Tell us a little bit about him. And I think the thing that impresses me, 19.7 points per game. He's shooting 55%. He's hit 58 threes, 51% from the field goal shooting, 55% from 3. That's unheard of, man. That really is. I mean, that's high volume shooting. Most people shoot 42, even the high volume guys, 45. He's shooting 55% from 3, man, and then 51% from the field. Tell us about him. He's amazing to me.
Yeah, no, he's a kid that you have to kick out of the gym every day. Like literally, I am having to turn the lights off while he's still shooting to get him out of there. And so he's a gym rat for sure. He works his butt off. Like you can see, I was showing him pictures from his freshman year till now. He's probably put on about at least 20 pounds of muscle since his freshman year. And so he's been working his butt off, and like all this, the stats and the scoring and all that doesn't surprise me at all. He's doing his thing of what we've kind of expected from him. And the last 2 years have been tough because he's been the only guy out there that can really go get us a bucket. And so now I think this year it's been easier for him because, like, 1, he's stronger, but 2, the team is better around him. And so everything's not so hard for him, and he's not doing it all on his own. Like, people are able to make plays for him, or even when he's having an off night, other guys are able to step up. And so that's been a big part of our success is, 1, Francois has gotten better, but then our team around him has gotten better as well.
Is that weight that you talked about that he's put on? Was that some muscle, weightlifting weight, or just natural maturation? He looks strong, man. He looks real strong.
Yeah, a little bit of both. I mean, he lifts every day, and so trying to get high school kids in the weight room sometimes, especially basketball players, it's like a disease. Like they get sick of it pretty quickly, but he doesn't, and so he loves the weight room, and so him and Moomin both and Pedro, our little point guard, like they'll all get in there together and push each other, and so that's been really good for us.
You got some leaders in there. I like Pedro. I like him too, man. He averages 6.2 points per game, but he's only 5'4", but he brings that defensive intensity and, he brings that heart. And you see that. I also like Sam Modest. He came off the bench last week and right away, boom, hit a shot from the left corner. He's got confidence, but I like those two players too.
Yeah, and that's like we were talking about with our depth. Both those guys have really come on since last year. I mean, Pedro, I love him to death. Like you said, he's 5'4" and has the heart of a mountain lion, man. And so like he works harder than anybody. He's to be a varsity basketball player at 5'4" and be the captain of your high school basketball team. You got to be a special kid, and he really is. And so Sam have come off the bench or not even come off the bench, but they started for us and started to come on a little bit and make some shots and really help us offensively. So I think them coming along, and then we have a couple other guys coming off the bench that have started to figure it out a little bit. They're sophomores, and so it's taken a little bit longer than I expected, but they're starting to figure it out as well.
Tell you what, when I saw Sam last week, he came in shooting with confidence, man. Right away, hit a shot from the corner, and you guys just rolled downhill. It wasn't, again, I have all the respect in the world for Alvin Broussard. They'll have better nights. But I thought Del Norte set the tone that night. I did. I thought, especially your big fella, man. He's like, you're not posting up here, man. And again, when Amy gets it in, there's nothing you can do. Drop step, keeps the ball high. How are you going to stop that? He's not going to stop it. But I thought Omer made it hard. Like, no, man. You're going to work for this. Get under those legs. And a lot of guys don't like getting down and, work it. And Amy's a really good player. He's going to be a good college player. He needs about a year worth of redshirt time, redshirt work, but he's going to be good. So I thought Omar really set a good tone that night. Coach, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk more about this year's version of the Del Norte Knights after these messages on the sports desk.
Poked away by Bishop. Bishop takes off. Here comes the money. Up and in. Taylor. Well, here's Bishop once again. Little scoop and score. Back-to-back steals and scoop and scores.
Mieta, catch and shoot. Yes, nylon. First field goal of the night for Jace Mieta.
Chavez, coast to coast, takes it himself. Blocked at the rim.
I tell you, went against those trees and
changing threes. Bramlett swings at left wing. Cooper, he'll take a triple and rattle it in.
well, I'll tell you what, we're Cueva heating it up right now.
Rifled that one ahead to Deschler, who skips it across the baseline on a catch and shoot for Willis. Gets it back, a kick, open look, high arcing three, rattles in for Grace Baca.
Cleveland need a basket right now.
Way outside on the wing, it's Bracken. Now here's Bowie for three. Swish, Bowie.
He hurt. I think that, Hope would be elite ahead right now.
Campbell for three, knocks it down. Can't connect. Offensive rebound, another block for Jeron.
Always in the right place at the right time.
Block the rebound put up. That's off the mark by Weddle. Here comes the break now for Bramlett. Lob underneath, slam, dunk. Hunter Butler.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better. So go on. Savor the day.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Hi, I'm George Lovato Jr., the on-call outdoor chef. And listen, thank you for watching Chasing the Flames. We have a ton of fun making it. But I want to remind you, watch out for episode 3 next week on Comcast Channel 26 at 6 p.m. every Thursday. We thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Our pot is simmering here with all of our aromatics, our veggies, our red wine.
Look at every space there, we're bubbling. Look how even that bubbling is. Now this will rise, correct, for what, an hour?
Hour and a half to 2 hours.
You know we like garlic around here. And my favorite, smoked paprika.
And then we're gonna get these on the grill. You don't really want to cook these that long. I think mine's ready. Pepper cook.
Let's get back to Chasing the Flames together.
Welcome back to the Sports Desk, live on Comcast Channel 26, also streamed on our Facebook channel. I'm your host, Ed Nunez. Our very special guest today, Del Norte boys basketball coach Jeron McIntosh. Your Knights are having a great season, 13-8 in district. You're 3-0. You got Hope Christian tomorrow night, and the coach of the season. Gosh, you got Hope Christian Bernalillo, then the Academy again, Valley, and Hope Christian. You mentioned your games against Hope Christian. You just played them a couple of games ago, I believe, right? You played them already.
Twice already, which is crazy to think about that you played a team in your district twice before the district season even started. So, yeah.
Beat them, 56-52, then lost 73-68. And you mentioned you might play them 7 more times, 5 more times before the season's over. And, we all know Coach Murphy. I tease Jim all the time. I've known Jim for years. In fact, Ray Rodriguez, and I used to play ball together on a team back in the 80s, man. We were bad. We were pretty decent, But I always teased Coach. I said, you got, 16 titles, right? He's got 16, I think. So I said, was 17 or 18 really going to make that much of a difference, man? Is it going to make you that much happier? We joke about that all the time, but talk about the challenge that Hope presents to you, man, because, I love Jim. Jim's a good man, a good coach, a good father, a good grandfather, a good role model. I used to say when I repped, and Jim, if he got upset at me, I'm like, damn, I must have missed it because he don't say too much, right? But what kind of a challenge does Hope present to you tomorrow night?
They're the same team that we are in a lot of ways. They're very skilled. They're very big. Their IQ is through the roof. You can tell that, they play a lot with Coach Murphy because when they go out there, it doesn't look like they're much, but then all of a sudden you're down by 20 and they're kicking your butt. And so, there's a reason why Coach Murphy is the best coach of all time and the most wins of all time and all that. And it's because he gets those kids ready every game. And so we already know it's going to be tough. We know they're going to be ready. And like you said, we may end up playing them 5 more times. So this may end up being a 7-game NBA series right here. So, but we got to be ready and just and give the best effort we can against those guys.
What I think about Coach Murphy, is that he still plays, man. He still plays at 6 o'clock in the morning over there, and he's playing against Chad Poppert and guys that are still playing pretty darn well. And he's 64, 63. He got hurt a couple of years ago. And I asked him, I teased him, I said, hey, man, that's it, right? You're done. No, I think I'll be back out there. And he's still playing. So, when you say that they play with Coach Murphy, some of those kids probably he's still playing with them. And he's still amazing. There's many reasons why I don't play anymore. And injuries or concern about injuries are definitely one of them. I have to climb stairs, and it doesn't do any good to climb. The climb it, how it is at Western, that little last perch. You got to climb up and grab a bar to get up there. Yeah, man. So my days are over there. Sides up 4A for us. You got Highland at number 1. Artesia lost to Roswell. So you got Highland, Artesia, Hope Christian, Del Norte, Taos, Academy, Valencia, Belen, Gallup, and Grants. That's the top 10 this week. Size it up for us, man. I mean, that's a pretty – Highland, Artesia, Hope Christian, and Del Norte, I think are all – and Coach Hernan or Chavez at Taos. Is it Chavez? Coach Chavez at Taos? I can't remember.
Yep.
He does a good job. They're right there. Alvin Broussard, his bunch will be right there too. Size it up for us.
Yeah, I think right now all of us are still chasing Highland and Artesia. I think those two are just they're a little bit more mature and a little bit more experienced than everybody else. I mean, obviously playing the state championship last year and bringing a lot of those guys back is a big experience, you know. And so, like, you know, playing in the pit is very different than playing in a high school gym. And so the pressure that comes along with that, the preparation and everything. And so it's a big advantage having guys that have been there and gone through that whole marathon of the entire season. And so I think that's one thing with us and Hope and Taos and Academy. We're all still chasing those guys because we still have a lot of guys that are new that haven't made that run before. And so I think all of us are still capable of making a big run. The guys that you just talked about at the bottom of the top 10, they're capable of going and beating a team here or there when you're not ready. And so, like, we played Valencia at the beginning of the year, and like, it was a 2-point game all the way up to the last 4 minutes of the game. And so, like, we know, like, this isn't easy, you know. There's some really good coaches in 4A. And so, like, there's guys that have won multiple titles. You know, you have Coach Woody, obviously, and then Coach Mondragon just won it last year, and Coach Murphy, who's won more titles than most kids have been alive. And so, you know, it's spread out very well, and guys know how to win. So, like, it's just getting hot at the right time of the year.
Yeah, you know what, and you know, that time of year, it's crazy that it's right around the corner. You know, the state tournament in at the pit, you won a championship, man. You know, you were runner-up one year, and you know, Del Norte hadn't won a championship, I think, in their history when you won one, right? In basketball, you're the only one to win one, and
yeah, unfortunately, that's the only one we have. So we're trying to get another one somewhere.
No, that was a you know what, that was a huge win that year. You know, I remember. I think I'm pretty sure I broadcast that game if I'm right. But yeah, anytime, you know how hard it is to win a championship, and you had the Knights in contention for years. You built a great program there, man. How has it been to sustain it? You know, you built a winning program. You mentioned there maybe been a couple of, you had some. You mentioned Malik Barton. You mentioned Judah Casals. I think did Shane score 60 in a game? Was it 60? My son said 69. I thought it was 60.
Yeah, it's 60, so that's the APS record. So yeah, but we scored 68 in the entire game and lost, and so that's the hard part about that.
Oh man, but you know, you've had some solid players throughout the years, and this team here, I think you mentioned they don't have the experience in making that run, but I think every night that they make the plays that they made against the Academy, I thought I saw some role players. That's the key to me. You know, you have Sachivi, he's going to make his plays. I think Umar is he's 6'5" senior, 10.9 points a game and 4.9 rebounds. I like that kid a lot because he's got the heart. He's not going to back down to anybody. There's somebody 7 foot out there who's going to say, "Give it to me, man." I like that. I like that heart, man. We're going to play. We're going to play. You know, if you're big, play big, right? Play big. So I think you've got some guys. Maybe they haven't been through that run, but what I saw the other night, I was very impressed that they're going to make those plays. They've got a confidence about them.
And they do. You're right. I mean, they believe it, and they think it's going to happen, and that's where it starts. You have to believe it. And so, like, that's bigger than anything else that really you have. Like, you have to have the skill and size to be able to make the runs, but you have to be able to, like, have a team camaraderie that you guys can come together and do it. And so I think that's one thing we do have. Like, a lot of these guys, we have alumni coming back and practicing with a lot of these guys and giving them good advice and good words and everything like that have been through it. And so that's helped a lot for us as well. But I think for the most part, our leadership is going to have to step up because all those guys have been in the program and been on the varsity since they were freshmen, sophomores, and now that they're seniors and juniors, like this is their time. And so we talk about a lot, like what's your legacy going to be when this is all done. And right now, none of these guys, this is like the first group that I've had that don't have any type of legacy to leave. And so it's all about been like, were you part of some of these other teams that left their legacy? And so like they don't have anything right now. And so that's one of the big motivators that they have, is they want to leave some type of legacy when they're all done.
I think you mentioned, just the players that you have and leadership. I think that's the thing too. I'm not afraid to make plays, and you've got guys on that roster that are not afraid. I really like that though. I saw him earlier in the year, and I'm watching him. I'm like, damn, look at this dude, man. He's small, but I like that. I like playing like that, man. You know what? I always said, I coached too, right? We're gonna lose. Let's give it. I don't. We're gonna lose games. I get it, but if we don't give it everything we got, man, then I got a problem. So when I saw that kid, I'm like, dang, look at that kid. He's a pest, man. One of those guys that when he's guarding you, you're like, God, get him off of me. But that's what he wants, right? He gets in your head a little bit because he's going to play that physical defense. We already know what a fantastic player Sachivi is. Those are guys, if you look at it, Umar and Sachivi, that can win you championships based around other role players like Padron, like Modest. You've got some good role players. Carl Thomas off the bench. The Andre Grant averages 4 and 4. Those are role players. They know their role. Coach Olin was talking about that today. Teams, you mentioned that, teams that can come together and not be jealous. Usually with teams, Coach, you got some dude off in the corner, man. You're like, oh crap. The body language, like we got to reel him in. And so I think when you mentioned that, a team that can come together. That's important, man. That likes playing with each other, because there's always some kind of something going on with teams. We have to admit that. It's honest, right? So I think this bunch, what I looked at the other night, knows their roles, like each other, and want to play hard. And that's again a tribute to you. You're one of the best coaches there is in the state, no doubt about it. So I think there's a team there that could make a run, man. That's dangerous. That teams don't probably. They look at them like, man, we don't want to play those guys.
Well, I hope so, and so, but we've had our issues too with that same thing you're talking about, where guys have got to sacrifice, whether it's coming off the bench, whether that's turning down an okay shot for a great shot, and so we were just talking about too with Francois, like even Francois has had to sacrifice at times, because the last 2 years he's been the guy shooting all their shots, and then now this year it's, no, you got to find the open guy, because that open guy can make an open shot. And so I think they're starting to learn that now. I think at the beginning of the year, that was one thing that we were trying to work through, where everybody understanding like it's we over me, and everybody eats when we play together, rather than you just trying to go get it on your own. And so I think the kids are starting to understand that a little bit better. Like we were just talking about that, like the Lobos, that's a big part of their success, is everybody is understanding their role and what they're supposed to be doing. And so now I think our kids are starting to get that same concept.
When you see it, you've been around the game a long time, man. It's beautiful. You're like, God, we want to, you see the Lobos, and look at the way they move the ball. You mentioned a good shot, a better shot, swing the ball. They're always looking to swing or fake one to make one. Boom, fake. Defense goes that way. Get in the gap, kick it back out. And Luke Hopp does that all the time. That guy is not the greatest athlete, right? But, man, he makes some plays. 90% of the time he makes the right plays. So I think, to your point, man, when you see a team make plays for the betterment of the sum of all parts, it's a beautiful thing. Coach Jeron McIntosh, Del Norte boys head basketball coach, we sure appreciate you being our guest today, man, and I'll see you down the line. You know that. Can't wish you enough luck the rest of the season.
Thank you so much, Ed. I appreciate you showing me and showing our boys some love, man. I love it. And so appreciate all you do for high school basketball and college basketball as well, just basketball in general in New Mexico. So thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Coach, always a pleasure, man. We'll talk to you soon. For producer Alden Iwani, I'm Ed Nunez. We'll see you next week on the Sports Desk.